Alright, so as you guys know, I am one of the best axe PvPers on planet Earth, having the highest win streak on the entire server and also having killed Dream before. So as you probably can imagine, I get kind of bored sometimes because it's so easy fighting people. So that's why I asked my Discord server to hit me up with some of the most intense and hardest PvP challenges they could think of. Would I be able to beat them, or would I give up and rage quit? Let's find out. Using a 1 pixel texture pack doesn't affect how I play, making it really easy for me to win. Not using a shield allows me to offhand my crossbow, then all I have to do is shoot my opponent for quick damage after I disable their shield. I avoid damage by strafing a lot more without a shield. Not much changed when using the max FOV. The only thing that changed a little bit was my ability to judge the distance between me and my opponent. Using the lowest FOV actually made it more confusing than I thought it would, because I couldn't see the blocks below me, making it harder to count them to determine how far away I was from my opponent. Not being allowed to crit is not really something difficult if you know how to abuse shield timings. Strafing also helps to bait the opponent into trying to crit you. All you gotta do is get out of the way and counter them. When using the pumpkin, I tried to make sure I had my opponent in one of the eyeballs where there was more visibility, which worked out really well. The third person challenge isn't much of a difference for me. I'm able to adapt to it very fast and beat my opponent quickly. The no HUD challenge doesn't change my strategy. It just tests how good my aim is when not being able to see my crosshair. Hitting bow shots wasn't a problem for me either. Playing with 10 FPS was pretty hard. The only difficult thing was aiming from side to side, since the low frames made the crosshair very laggy. Playing with a 2000 pixel texture pack and a shader felt similar to the 10 FPS challenge, except it wasn't as hard. Only using a sword forced me to be very baity, since I either had to backstab my opponent or hit them as they tried to hit me. However, a good player can easily prevent me from backstabbing them when they realize I'm only using a sword. The ranged only challenge is pretty hard because I can't decide when I can attack my opponents, since I have no way of breaking their shield. This forced me to bait out their hits and shoot them as they tried to hit me. The 10 hearts challenge can be the easiest to mess up. You have to play perfectly or you will get hit and fail. The hardest challenges are the ones who limit my movement or aim. Only using A and D was pretty hard. Luckily, I looked like a noob walking sideways away from my opponent, which led to them opening themselves up for easy crits. For an average player, the no armor challenge can be impossible. However, for an experienced player like me, it isn't much of a problem. The no moving challenge is by far the weirdest. There's not much I have to do, it's all based on what my opponent does. In this case, they got confused, which I took advantage of. The max sensitivity challenge was really hard. Literally just clicking or taking too deep of a breath messed up my aim big time. Playing with the lowest sensitivity was hard. I had to keep my opponent in front of me at all times because there was no way I could turn around fast enough. In the blind challenge, I had blindness and a pumpkin. Not only did I play blind, but I also didn't have a helmet, could not sprint, and could not crit, making this very hard. Not knowing where my opponent would attack from was very intense and suspenseful. The second person challenge was incredibly difficult because I had no clear way of looking in front of me. However, my pure skill in PvP helped me balance it out and get me the win. Only playing with an axe and no armor is extremely difficult. You can't hide behind a shield or use ranged weapons. Only the best players can manage to beat this challenge. In the inverted controls challenge, W and S are switched and so are A and D. Your mouse controls are also inverted. This is by far the most difficult challenge in the entire game. Yes, let's go! Why are you still here? The video's over. Go home. Oh, you liked it? Huh, that's strange. What? No way, you subscribed as well? Wow, you're one incredible individual. Very impressive. I like you. I like you a lot.